Welcome everybody. I'm done with Concrete Arcade for today. And I'm not sure where I'm going to go next. For the first time I used the Concrete card exchange. I never understood how to use it because it had a tray full of, hold on, it's a cool picture. It was like a tray full of cards in 4 kind of like categories. And it said, this is not free, because it kind of looked like they were giving you like free samples of cards. I'm sure other people thought the same, and that's why they had to write that. But it said, this is not free. If you put in one card, you can take one card of the same rarity level. And I was like, okay, that sounds great, but how do you measure the rarity of the of the card? Because like there's colors in the background of the card which you might think indicates the rarity. There's also sometimes there's like foil versions, and so then you might think like, okay, well maybe whether or not it's foil indicates the rarity. And then there's also certain cards that have like innate buffs. It's like a version of this card that has like a different hairstyle or different costume, but it's the same card, and it has like a plus bonus to whatever, to attack or something. So then you might think, well, that's a different rarity. And I didn't really understand like, okay, which of these is the rarity they're talking about, because I don't know, I don't want to like put in a card that's like worse and take a better card just because I didn't know what the rarity level was that they meant. So they have a great system in the arcades. You might have imagined by now that as I've always been talking about, these Japanese arcades have so many great ideas. And it's a great thing that the arcades, basically all over the arcade, there's these QR codes, and it says like, if you need help, scan this code to call the staff. So it's not like a, are you in trouble type thing, or I guess it could also be for that, but it's really like, if you just need to call a staff member, don't seek one out, because you're probably playing a game, you can't really go very far from the game. So you scan the code, every code is linked to a point where you scanned it in the arcade, and basically when you scan that, it shows you a web page where you press a button that says call the staff member. You could even write in a little thing about like what you're calling about. And then once you do that, the staff member comes right to where you stood when you scanned the code, and you can ask them whatever. So I basically did that, and I just said like, hey, could you help me out? Like, I have all these cards, like I'm not sure, I want to do the exchange, but I'm not sure what the rarity level means. Like, is it color, is it shininess, or whatever? I didn't know how to say holographic, so I said shininess. And he basically was looking at it, he was like, I think you could just like, if you put one card in, you could take whatever. I don't think he really understood the game that well. So I didn't try to take advantage of it though. I tried to match the type as close as I could figure out. But I got a couple of cards. I got 2 cards that I did not have before, or that I've never seen before. So that's great. I don't know if they're good or bad, but that's what the exchange is, I guess. So I put a couple of my old ones in. I got one that was a Valentine's Day card. Like, you know, we just had that promotion of Valentine's Day right now. But it was Valentine's Day of last year. So that's pretty cool. Oh, you know what? I gotta buy deodorant. Let's see if we can find deodorant here. I don't know what the word is for deodorant. I'm gonna actually put a cover over the camera for a second. Hang tight.すいません。言葉が知らないけど、肩の下の臭いのプリベンションわかんない。ディオドラント。2回？ありがとうございます。There's not many people on this floor, so I figure I can take this thing off. Bath and Body, maybe? Not foot care, not makeup. It's gotta be Bath and Body. No. Maybe it was men's. Men's cosmetics. Well, here's Axe body spray. I guess that counts. It's got to be near here. Men's spray. Super hard. No, that's for hair. Hold on, I'm gonna cover the camera again, just ask somebody. Sumimasen. ディオドラント means
こちらと
ここと全部スプレーですか？
スプレー、これがロール。
ロール。
ロールタイプ。
わかりました。
はい。
ありがとうございます。Oh, it's that kind that has a liquid inside. Yeah, they're all. Damn, this is a huge bottle. You can't really smell it because it's sealed from the top, but I guess that's for the best. Oh, すいません。です。
こちらシールでもよろしいですか？このままで。
レシート？
このままで。このままで大丈夫ですか？袋はなくて大丈夫です。
あ、袋、大丈夫です。はい、
657円でございます。
クレジットカード大丈夫ですか？
はい、大丈夫ですよ。お待ちください。はい、じゃあこちら差し込みがタッチでお願いします。はい、少々お待ちください。はい、完了いたしました。レシート記載が出ます。はい、ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
実はレシートちょっと大丈夫。
はい、
あ、すいません。
はい。
Alright, once we exit, we'll take the thing off the camera. Concord is great though. So welcome back first of all to the land of those who can see what's going on. I think that was the same Welshire that we went yesterday to get that set of masks, which I'm now wearing. I really like this mask that I got. It's very, I don't think I can really show it, but it's like a cool shape. It's like you can see that it sort of conforms pretty well. It's kind of the Japanese style, as opposed to the American style tends to be a lot flatter. When in Rome, though, right? I might have screwed everything up by taking that off the dock. My thing's not really set up to do that. I think I'm good. But yeah, I like this mask, and it also it seems to last for longer. The other brand that I really liked was Fitty, which also has a really cool form factor, so Japanese style form factor. But it's Fitty is like, by the end of the day of like full usage, that thing is like, you know, fraying on the outside and the inside, and you're constantly having to like, you know, go like that because you're getting like little, you know, pieces of kind of string in your mouth or whatever, like with a fraying mask. And you might be saying to yourself, whoa, my masks that I wear in the West, in America, wherever I live, they don't fray after a day's use. But you have to realize that in the West, you don't wear masks the same percentage of the day that you do in Japan. Like for example, in Japan, I and everyone that you see in the video here, even while walking on the street, is wearing a mask. When you're in a restaurant, sitting down in a restaurant, if you're not directly eating your food, you're still wearing a mask. So it's like an extreme percentage of your day that you're wearing it. In the West, what I've noticed is that, like in the US, me and my friends, even in Los Angeles, where people are pretty conscious, as soon as you sit down at a restaurant, as soon as you're given any excuse not to wear it, you start walking, you're out and about, your mask is off. It's, you know, oh, we're in the open air, that's fine, take your mask off. Like, oh, we sat down in the restaurant, what do you want? We're gonna take the mask. But like here, it's like, no. The default mode of life is that the mask is on. And like the very, very slim percentage of time is that it's off. So while you may be saying, oh yeah, my mask lasts for more than until the end of the day, or at least it's not decomposing by the end of the day, if you were in Japan and living the way that the Japanese live, it probably would be before the end of the day. An interesting cultural shift to get used to when you're here. But it's, you know, of course you always want to try and, you know, do as the Romans do. You don't want to just bring your own sort of like style to the other country and just ask them to get used to it. You know, if you're in another place, you want to do what they do. I'm not like the biggest, I don't mind masks, but it's not like I'm in love with them. But when I'm here, I'm wearing them 24/7 pretty much, unless I'm sleeping or in my own, you know, hotel room, it's on. Therefore, finding a mask that lasts for longer than one day is pretty nice. And it's not cheap. It costs, you know, a couple times more than the fitty masks that I like. Because this is a pack of 3 that costs more than the 5-pack of fitties that I would otherwise get. But these 3 masks last a lot longer than those 5 fitty masks. I forget what this brand is called. Can't remember. But yeah, I like it. Pita, that's what it's called, pita. IDJ saying, are you allowed to wear no mask outside if you choose? You're technically allowed to do anything if you choose. It's like very frowned upon. You're being, I mean, it's the same thing as anything. Like, when you're in Japan, you can see the difference between like, sort of like obnoxious foreigners and regular foreigners. Because the obnoxious foreigners are the ones who are imposing themselves upon this other culture. And, you know, by doing X amount of things, being too loud, you know, like talking in places where you wouldn't otherwise talk, not wearing a mask, you know, doing this and that. Like, there's a million things that you can notice, and, you know, you can do those things here. The Japanese culture is such that they really endure a lot before they actually like tell you to shut up or tell you to stop. It's just the way that the, you know, whole culture is. But the question is, should you? So yeah, I mean, like by law, I don't think anyone's gonna lock you up if you're walking around without a mask. I know people who don't wear a mask when they walk around, or that at least take their nose out, but I don't. So yeah, same type of thing. It's also like when you get, for an example, is like when you get on the plane to go to Japan, in the US, masks are not by law required on a plane, but what they tell you is that you need to have a mask when you get on this plane to get to Japan, because in the US, masks are not required by law, but in Japan, they are once you get into the airport. So like, that's an indoor location, so of course they are required, but like, you don't have to have a mask on the plane, but you need to have one as soon as you step off the plane. So yeah, it's just an interesting thing or whatever. And I mean, anyone who knows Japan knows that they're pretty used to wearing masks anyway, so it's not like, it's not like news to anyone. But just one of those, things to keep in mind for anybody who's traveling, to try and go with the flow. So yeah, I recommend this one, Pita mask brand. You'll find it at a lot of the different convenience stores and stuff. It's a 3-pack, so it's not that many, but they'll last for longer than the other ones. Whew, all right, it's pretty late here. It's maybe like approaching 11 o'clock, and by now, it's not that late in the scheme of things, but in Akihabara, that's about as late as it goes without things shutting down. So let's call it an episode. I will get some sleep and then start again early tomorrow. Play some more Kankode. Thanks for watching, ladies and gents. Nice to see you, IGJ. I'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.